my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Welcome to your 8-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this full moon in Libra to new moon in almost Taurus? We'll talk about it. April 2023. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. They're just my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, almost 25 years in service. May 1st, 2023. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. There is a Kindle version available. There is a link in the description box that you can click and preview it for free, seeing some of the prayers, practices, and principles that have kept me in business for 25 years and even way before that. And if you are down in my description box, do check out my Patreon, because we're doing some really cool stuff over on my membership subscription platform over there. At the moment, we have 8 levels of subscription: Seekers, Humans, Heroes, Angels, Witches, Immortals, Mystics, Gods, Goddesses is the top tier. They get everything available on it. And all of my subscribers get some things in common, like the daily check-ins. They get to chat with me every morning with an unlisted YouTube live stream link. Literally, they chat with me. We chat about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always ending with a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something, something to send us on our way. My favorite way to start the day, and we're building a lovely community over there. A bunch of Scorpios, too. A lot of water signs, actually, come to think of it. And they also get all of the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. They're all relationship-based. They are all timeless, my extended reads, and some of them run an hour long. So yeah, you can Vimeo.com if you want to Vimeo on demand. I'm into that. But all of my subscribers get all of them, past, present, and into the future, as long as they remain subscribers, and I love it. It's the best career move I ever made as a mystical artist, a spiritual teacher, a professional intuitive, and all that jazz. So if you find yourself wanting a little bit of a deeper experience, Scorpio that you are, or cross-watcher, click the link, check the menu, and come Patreon on Patreon, because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Everybody's got an archangelic lineage. I just happen to know mine because it's written in my name. Cool. Shall we? Let's do some explanation before we dive into divination, because you have to for the new people. Welcome, new Scorpios and cross-watchers. An 8-card draw is just one card from 8 different decks, giving you clues, tips, and hints really about anything you want to look at. But we're looking at a 2-week period, a waning moon from the full moon in Libra to the new moon, void of course, but then we'll be in Taurus, April 2023, to help you do the releasing, the letting go, the alchemy from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, to traverse a more golden rather than leaded timeline, toxic from toxic timeline to healthy timeline. I think you get the gig. Let's look at the astrology. Of course I have a clipboard. I am a Virgo sun sign. We're looking at the full moon in Libra, April 6th, on Thursday, April 6th, 1:34 a.m. Eastern Time, 12:34 a.m. That's my everything is in the right time at the right place, even if we don't see it. That's my number for that, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when the moon rides at her peak, full moon, then ye hearts desire seek. And I will say the 5-card draws, I put out for those already. And it's a really good day for justice and money and expansion. It's a really, really powerful day, that full moon. So cast for what you want, and then get ready for 2 weeks of the releasing, the letting go, the surrendering, the waning moon, the releasing of the 3 symbolic atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table. Those atoms cannot be created or destroyed, not even metaphorically, but changed, released, transformed. And that's what these readings are about. Keep in mind, 2 weeks later, the new moon. Well, it is a new moon on 4/20. April 20th, just putting that out there. But it goes void, of course, at the same time that it goes new. It happens every now and again at 12:13 a.m. Eastern. If you're up for it, it doesn't matter because it's going to go void, of course. The moon will then go into Taurus at 12:30 a.m., but then the sun won't go into Taurus until 4:14 a.m. So just wait till 5 a.m. Eastern and plant your seed and let it grow. I will have the 5-card draw, What Do I Need reads up for that as well. In between those two dates, the only astrological shift that I see of massive significance would possibly be on the 11th of April, where Venus goes into Gemini. So if you have any planets in Gemini or similar air signs, there might be a trine, there could be a square going on, depending on where you are in your chart. So a letting go, a releasing, that's what these readings are for. And cross-watchers are welcome on my channel. Absolutely, because you have the opportunity to get some understanding, some sympathy, some empathy for the Scorpio that you are cross-watching for. But if you apply some of this stuff to yourself, right, your own mantras from your own readings, or use the ones, whatever comes up here, you will be shifting. You will be jumping to more golden timelines, and that would be in support of not just the Scorpio you're cross-watching for, because we're all one, ultimately, but for the entire Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This is how we help each other by healing ourselves, even for those that we love dearly, and maybe some of those we're not so thrilled with. So it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because if you see repetitive themes, or if you see certain words, or if you're just drawn to it, you never know if there's a piece of the puzzle there for you to evolve, to awaken, to grow, to expand, and to let go of some lead for some more gold in your life, so to speak. So the shift from explanation, which I gotta do, to the divination I was born to do, that happens in the still point. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I will give you my best. I will do my best to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace to do your own personal alchemy for a better world for all of us. Cool. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. And here we go. Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards, I'm entering gently into this one. There goes the throat chakra. Oh, I felt that one coming. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading, what is the dominant chakra? Sorry, the dominant archetype in the 8th chakra, determining the shadow work, the pattern of the soul to be alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, impoverished to prosperous, heaven to hell, illusion to truth, this full to new, the wounded child archetype. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never met someone who didn't deal with the wounded child archetype in my line of work. Ever. Everybody has the child archetype, the larger pattern, survival family archetype, the child, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute. Everybody has those 4. Even nations, corporations have the 4 survival archetypes. They are the trunk of the tree that if they are healthy, all the other 8 families, there are 9 families. Survival is the first family. Sacred Contracts, Caroline Mace, MYSS. She's a PhD, life-changing work. But not everybody has the wounded child. I've never met anybody who didn't. But it's a sub-pattern or a sub-archetype, if you will. Written on the card is the shadow attribute. Consider that the lead, the light attribute, the gold. And we're all in process of alchemizing this if you have the wounded child. So, the shadow work entails blaming all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds and resisting moving on through forgiveness. Regardless of subpattern, the child archetype is about innocence and safety, because if a child feels safe and loved, their innocence comes out. But if not, we get into all sorts of toxicity. And of course, we are talking about adults who are still carrying this pattern, and billions of people are. The child, the wounded child in its light, awakens compassion and a desire to serve other wounded children. Ding, 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 ding. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. And that's the point. If we knew how to forgive, we would. But Course in Miracles, my central spine for quantum forgiveness, so to speak, really does say that it is a choice that we must make, but that there is one lesson that is then generalized to everything in our lives, because it's forgiveness that lets us off the hook from the illusion of separation, believing that we're separate from each other, because we're not. We're not interconnected, we're all one. There's a difference. So, this is about your safety, but this is also about forgiveness, which is, in my opinion, essential to alchemy in the spiritual sense. So, that's in the 8th chakra, sending down the codes to all the other chakras, shifting what you attract and what you repel so that you heal the contract, do the alchemy. You have free will. You can choose to not do it, to delay what cannot be prevented. I always say, how many times do you want to keep reincarnating to do this? That's why we're going to look at the heart, throat, third eye, crown chakras, the inside world, with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Just one card to see what's going on there, because throat chakra minimum, free will, choices, decisions, willpower, your choice. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. This feels good. Alright, I call upon my goddesses of water, the sign of Scorpio. Powers of the West, please, beloved goddesses of fixed water. One card in clarity for the Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video, drawn to this reading. I know a lot of Scorpios, and most of them are Generation X, and a lot of us got the wounded child archetype in some way, shape, or form, not always from family, sometimes from society. Doesn't matter where or when or how, just that it is. So please, one card in clarity to help the Scorpio collectives and the cross watchers alchemize the wounded child in the 8th. This full to new, the witch archetype, which is the magician in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, and it's a major arcana card and a chakra read. The way I do it like this, it's all 4 at once. We're talking about the alignment of your fire, earth, air, and water with your spirit, initiating something on the inside, coming into alignment, allowing a clear movement of inspiration, information, will, and heart, right? All of those powers lining up inside of you. Talk about initiating a healing process, right? Bringing the unity of spirit all the way down, at least into the heart chakra. This is an alchemy card to begin with, but it is all about free will. Because the witch can choose to cast or not. The magician can, do the Saturday Night Fever, as above, so below dance, if he wants, right? That is the choice that is here. So I would say, yeah, throat chakra dominant, because the child has to want to choose that. The wounded child might have a little bit more problem doing that, but it does say that there is magic afoot within. Lower 3 chakras, the masculine energy. Looking at yourself from the outside in, or you looking from the inside out at different people, places, and or things, particularly your relationship to yourself, your self-esteem, your boundaries, your honor code, what you will, what you won't. Like, will you forgive or won't ya? Yeah? All of that solar plexus stuff in there as well. So let's see what the gods say about your lower 3 chakra dynamic. Please take a nice deep breath. Because we repeat these patterns with everybody in our lives until we heal them. And every day is a winding road. So I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Scorpio, powers of the West. Please, beloved, gods of fixed water, transformation, all that Pluto energy going on. One card in clarity, please, for the Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in their lower 3 chakras, outside in, inside out, relationships in the world to help them alchemize the wounded child in the 8th with the witch in the inner, this full to new. 2 of Swords. I don't see that as an indecision card. I see that as a going back and forth in the mind. Maybe a conversation going back and forth, but it's only a 2. We're not talking about necessarily a conflict here, but a choice, perhaps 2 sides of a situation. Conversation between 2 people. but one that has essentially just begun, an opening of it, a gathering of information, hopefully a healthy hearing and airing of both sides with that element of air. Now, certainly the witch is going to decide how much they want to be in alignment, how much of pure truth, light, do they want to bring down through this. That can be tricky. If the wounded child is driving the show in the shadow, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be painful. And the pain is going to be in there anyway, right? So to really, really bring this into alignment in something that might be a little tit for tat, right? But definitely a juggling of the element of air there. And you can see the dude in between. He's like, I don't want to hear either one of those, right? It's like, I don't want to. So I wouldn't call it out and out mental confusion, but I would say perhaps there's a gathering of information that's going on here that's still in its ongoing, it's still in its beginning stages, perhaps is a good way to say that, and maybe some choices being determined of what you want to say and what you don't want to say. So that's where we're going to go to the Whispers of Lord Ganesh by Angelo Hartfield, the Hindu god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, elephant-headed. I've been developing a relationship with Ganesh for a very long time, all sorts of different Eastern practices, etc. So think of those three atoms in between lead and gold as metaphoric, archetypal obstacles. He's here to help. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, so good. Still point. There is something that feels good about this, though. I don't think this is the total leaded womp that Scorpios are ready for. So, or used to, I call upon our beloved Lord Ganesh, god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles. Please, beloved one. One card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading, please, what is your guidance, your grace, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message to help the Scorpios and the cross-watchers alchemize the wounded child in the 8th, witch in the inner, 2 of swords on the outer, this full to new? Spiritual practice. Here you go, not spiritual perfect, spiritual practice. If you saw what I did before I get on camera, before every reading, I do breath work and prayer and ho'oponopono just to get myself ready, so I know whatever comes out my mouth, at least I did my best, right? Spiritual practice, number 19. I mean, it looks pretty serious there. Actually, kind of a Scorpio kind of vibe going on there, if you ask me. So 19, I mean, practice does make perfect, you know? It's how you get to Carnegie Hall, so I've heard. You know, usually I just call a cab, but, you know, you do you. Spiritual practice, card number 12. A spiritual practice will help ground your day. It may trigger observations that lead to life-changing breakthroughs and ideas. Well, there's the possibility of that with that 2 of swords, right? But the witch, with spiritual practice on the inner, nobody needs to know you're doing this. You're a Scorpio. There are many ways to maintain a spiritual connection through a committed practice. Ganesha is asking you to reflect on the benefits that may be gained by following a specific daily routine for your spirituality. This might include prayer, meditation, or an exercise schedule that connects the body, mind, and spirit, such as yoga or Tai Chi. Additionally, consider burning incense, which is often used to accompany prayers, invocations, and spells in many cultures. As the incense smoke rises up to the heavens, it is said to represent the requests reaching their destination and meeting with approval from the divine. So, you know, 420, you do you. Incense is also believed to have properties that dispel negative energy. Use incense or burn sage to create a special haven for yourself or to clear a sacred space in preparation for a special occasion or ceremony. The smell of incense can also bring about heightened spiritual awareness and realization for the user. There are many tools and techniques that you can use throughout your day to preserve or regain tranquility. Even simply taking a deep breath can restore a spiritual connection. Find what works for you and dedicate some time to your practice each day. Hey, it's like working out. It's like brushing your teeth. Right? Oh yeah, I did it once. It was great. I never did. No, it's repetition is the mother of skill. Tony Robbins. He's still so hot. Climb him if he wasn't married with kids. But what are you gonna do? Oh, you're tall. You're spiritual. You're tall. That plunge pool scene, though, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. So, we've got a wounded child dealing with a spiritual practice, or at least that's how to remove obstacles. This makes sense. So what better than a healing mantra? From the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck to give you a little clue, tip, or hint about a practice. These mantras work if you work them, and you do have the Two of Swords, an air card on the outer. So, since mantras are verbal and start with the mind and the choice, could be helpful for a witch to have a mantra, at least on the inner. To heal a wounded child, please take a nice deep breath. Even if this wounded child ain't your own, you might be able to, your own wounded child could be your own child or somebody else's or an adult. There's so many ways that you can help with a spiritual practice. Still point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Survival and Healing, for the Scorpio Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers watching this video, receiving this reading, the wounded child obviously is in need of healing, but it is also a survival family archetype, and as one wounded child is healed, all wounded children heal holographically. So please, what is the perfect healing mantra for the Scorpio Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers watching this video, receiving this reading, to help them open that path of forgiveness in a brand new way, even if they've done it before? Alchemizing the wounded child in the 8th, witch in the inner, Two of Swords on the outer, with some spiritual practice removing obstacles this full to new. Welcoming surrender. There is no problem, only destiny being revealed. And we did have a card here about spiritual practice bringing revelation, right? Things being revealed to you, insights, seeing the past differently, understanding that nobody gets away without certain wounds in this life. The 4 ego wounds: abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss, right? Those 4, I don't know any, but except, again, maybe the Dalai Lama. He's the Dalai Lama. You always got to cut the masters that are incarnate as masters a lot of slack. I think Dolly Parton, too, as well as Dalai Lama, if you ask me. But, this is something to welcome surrender, right? Instead of trying to control it or blame or beat yourself up for it, because that child doesn't need to be beat up anymore, not by you. Don't beat yourself up. Why are you smacking yourself? Why are you punching yourself? I'm the youngest of 4, honey. I know the tea. Welcoming surrender. There is no problem, only destiny being revealed. When surrender is welcomed, you are open to viewing life as the playground of the soul's evolution. You're no longer worrying about what to do or where to go. Instead, you're following the gentle, peaceful flow of inner guidance. In surrender, every personal conflict is handed over to Source, the divine, the gods, whatever you want to call it, so as not to distract from the prime objective of evolving your consciousness with the utmost sincerity, love, and compassion for all, including yourself. I put that including yourself because that's obvious, but it bears repeating. This mantra is ideal for eliminating resistance, dealing with anger, which a wounded child will most certainly have in there somewhere, and easing an overthinking mind. When the mind won't shut up, it's because your heart's not open and you're a water sign. I'm a Pisces moon, so I know. It's like an alarm. I learned that from Matt Kahn. He's like, it's like an alarm going, okay, your heart is closed. Not that you need to be The Hills Are Alive with The Sound of Music. By the way, I can't stand that fucking movie. Not my gig at all. Bring me some Louis Newton-John and Michael Beck with some roller skates, and it's a long story. Kubla Khan. Certainly to welcome, surrender, and say there isn't a problem. There is a spiritual practice. This is something that we are all healing in some way, shape, or form. And if not the wounded child, the orphan child, or, the divine child, all of these are in play. And you're helping children, actual literal children, heal here too. So to understand that, we're all immortal souls. We come back to this plane over and over and over again to learn, to grow, to evolve, the soul's journey. Well, then you get that there isn't a problem. There's just destiny being revealed, lead being alchemized into gold, which can be delayed, but not prevented. Yeah. So, let's ask your spirit animals and totems using the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, Rockpool Publishing. Amazing company. Their books are chock full of good information without being overwritten and overwrought, which I love. So let's see who's helping you with the alchemy. Please take a nice deep breath. This is my favorite pantheon of the divine. Still point. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading, a wounded child will take every error along the way personally and beat themselves up for it, even if everybody else has stopped doing it, right? So together there is no problem. That it's part of the journey, it's part of the contract. Everybody deals with this in one lifetime or another. So please, beloved, spirit animals and totems, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, giving them the guidance, the grace, the wisdom, the power, the support, the protection, and the oracle message to help them alchemize and heal that wounded child in the eighth, witch on the inner, two of swords on the outer. There's some choices there to be made for sure. Some juggling there with some sort of spiritual practice in play, welcoming surrender, this full to new. And the sea turtle has now made its third or fourth appearance in these readings. It's about stability. No, a lot of us have gotten this. So there's something about the stability and going with the flow and not pushing so hard. Considering I've read this card several times, it's very those little turtles in Finding Nemo. It's got that vibe to it, card number 8. And I do love a sea turtle. They're cute. They're way down the beach. I love that. Tickles me. I live in Long Island. We see them every now and again. They're lovely. The turtle moves. The sea turtle, stability. Operating from a stable base is advantageous. Okay, a stable base. If you need help and guidance, ask for it. Could be part of a spiritual practice. As you are loved and supported, delve deeply into the study of something rather than just skimming the surface. Do not push hard for what you want all the time. Instead, set an intention or direction and steadily flow towards this. Not every journey needs to be a difficult one full of drama, and I'm pretty sure Leo got that one because I remember going, yeah, good luck. Yep, nope, there it is. Yeah, sure. So, the turtle, go with the flow. I'm going to read you the magic, though. Sea turtle magic flows to us with stability, which is the key word, and resilience. When you want something to come to fruition, but do not want to have to push very hard for it, as you perhaps have habitually done, ride the wave of sea turtle magic with its ease and surety. Sea turtles travel long distances, yet follow the currents and hitch a ride, which you got to admit is very water element for a Scorpio. You too can do this energetically and refuse to be pressured. Sometimes you need to accept someone else's more stable helping hand so you can rest a little. A healthy part of the lesson of the turtles. So look, I know a lot of Scorpio mystics, and they will scrub their chakras with Brillo and bleach to get the job done, and I appreciate that. I'm like that. I'm a Virgo. I can get very detailed in my own internal shadow work, etc., etc., etc. But this is saying it's okay. Be gentle with yourself. A spiritual practice need not be beating the crap out of yourself, which, let's face it, historically a lot of spiritual practices have been how much can you endure, where this is more about being kind and nurturing to that child inside of you that has endured some wounds and pain along the way. And who hasn't, right? That child remembers everything. It's in the subconscious and in the unconscious. So think of all the toxic people running around on this planet burning shit down who are just wounded children and don't know it. Well, it's obvious if you know what to look for archetypally. Heal this within yourself. You're healing it in the world. And then we have more forgiveness, more safety, more peace, and open pathways before us with the innocence of the child. I think it's worth it. Way I do inner child work pretty much daily. Always checking in. How you doing, sweetheart? Think of your heart chakra as the inner child. That's a MagCon thing. It works if you work it. The newest member of the Drawing the Circle Productions divinatory team, purchased at the Magic Moon in Saratoga Springs on Phila Street. That's Phila. Phila Street. I love them there. While visiting my parents, I picked up the Magical Herb Oracle. Sherilyn, Cheralyn, Darcy, Darcy, is the author. The illustrator, Dear Dandy, Deer Dandy. Chock full of information. Rockpool Publishing. Really dig it. But I'm only going to read you the divinatory part of this. I've already consecrated this deck to my beloved Archangel Ariel. And in the prayer you might see why. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to my beloved Archangel Ariel, one of the archangels of earth, powers of the north, the Archangel of Lyons, like Archangel of Lyons, the Archangel of nature, which includes the animals, the vegetables, and the minerals, all working together as one energy field of ever-evolving, growing, shifting, and changing life. Please, my beloved Ariel, one card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, the magical herbal oracle message to help them alchemize the wounded child in the eighth, witch on the inner, two of swords on the outer, with a spiritual practice welcoming surrender with stability, which sounds wonderful. What's the key word? What's the hope? What's the herb to help them? 420 aside. This full to new. Well, the key word is guidance. Okay, the herb itself, sage. Come on. I'm sure you can find, I'm sure you have some somewhere. Particularly if you're a friend. I just visited, I gave you a bunch. The Scorpio head, yeah. Card number 24. There's so much in here. I'm just going to read you the divinatory, the oracle meaning. They just trying to get the language right of a new oracle system here. Card number 24. And look, sage doesn't always have to be white sage. You can even get good old-fashioned kitchen sage. Don't smell so good. But it does do the job. Keyword, guidance, sage, oracle meanings. Itty bitty teeny tiny letters. Valuable advice is being offered, but it may not be in an obvious way. Learn through observing more closely the examples of others or exploring the foundations and structure of what you are focused on. I would think this has to do with the spiritual practice, right? Learn from others. See what works for them. Not everything works for everybody. I only share what works for me. Like, I will not even recommend a book that I haven't read, okay? An authority figure is energetically connected with you and has a great deal of bearing on the present. Be on the right side of the law and be very careful with contracts. And you might also find those in positions above you will have a great impact on your concerns. That's because it's ruled by Jupiter. I get that with Sage. These should be favorable. You may be prompted to find a mentor, teacher, or counselor to help you move forward at this time. Hi, it's what I've been doing for decades. And that's the end of it, but it goes into the botanical description of the herb, in case you're interested in this stuff, the magical correspondences, and a sage guidance spell. That's pretty thorough. I love Rockpool Publishing. Maybe we'll have a bidding war with Blue Angel if I ever decide to make my own deck of cardboard stuff. I have plans, we'll see. So, guidance and stability, welcoming surrender in a spiritual practice. You work this backwards, it even sounds good. Feels stable, but very creative, right? So this is not like you have to lock yourself down into the same spiritual practice every day for the rest of your life. No, witches don't do that. Gotta go with the flow. Yes, you know what works for you. I've been making the same coffee potion every morning for over a decade, and it works for me. It gets me going, and of course there's a little something stirred into it. You should see the ingredients. Yeah, so good. So, and Sage ain't that hard to get a hold of, I would think. Yeah. All right, last card down, the Hidden Blessing with the Blessed Bee. By Lucy Cavendish. We do these prayers for real. The prayers are incredibly well written, but this card represents the gold hidden within the lead that you can't see at the moment, usually because the alchemy hasn't really been going on yet, or maybe it has. The hidden blessing, the gold within the lead. The blessing's in play, but we often don't see it until we're sort of knee deep sometimes, and sometimes not even until after. Location, location, location. Let's see what the light of the end of the tunnel is. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Last card down. As I call upon the pantheons of all pantheons, please, I request a delegation from all traditions, lineages, and cultures for the Scorpio Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video and drawn to this reading. What is the gold hidden within the lead? The hidden blessing already in play. The light at the end of the tunnel to inspire them and call them forward to do the alchemy of the wounded child in the eighth, witch on the inner, two swords on the outer, spiritual practice, welcoming surrender, stability, and guidance. This seems pretty like a full set pointing them in a particular direction. So please, what is the hidden blessing here? It would be a pleasure to deliver to the Scorpio Collective and cross watchers this full to new. A blessing on growing older. Someone else got this. Where are you? Where are you? Cancer got this. That's interesting. Water sign to water sign. A blessing on growing old. And look, what's the other option? Well, I mean, not until the last jar of rapid wrinkle repair has been sold from the last shelf of the last whatever. Will I give no crow's feet around this house except on crows, thank you very much. But no, this is, if I live that long, I want this blessing to be my own. Card number 38. I'm still surprised I'm alive. I am 54 at the time of this recording, and yeah, I know. I don't look it. Mostly my mom's DNA. Really? What number is this? Oh, that's a 38? Oh, okay. Fucking scripty numbers. A blessing on growing older. We do these for real. At the end of this will be the end of the reading, but I'm going to be talking about 25 years, drawing the circle, and some changes being made, so chill if you want to. I love you. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheons of all pantheons, please transmit. Here we go. Card number 38, a blessing on growing older. A blessing on your ripening years, for maturity and wisdom, for knowledge earned through the doing of sacred things, the fulfillment of magical tasks. Sounds intriguing. As you now know, it is a blessing to still be here. No matter how challenging the life, every life is a gift for as long as you can breathe in and out and see the cycle of the sun. The growing years and the ripening of your life is the time of satisfaction and observation of the consequences of choices made and actions taken long ago. Interesting, wounded child to growing older, huh? That's pretty bookendy. Michael N.D., never-ending story. May the beginning of the time of your old age be most blessed. May there be those willing to learn from you, and may the wisdom you have gathered be shared out like ripe corn harvested at the edge of autumn's end. That's a beautiful image. May you see the changing of the body, the alteration of the face and form as the mark of the wheel upon you. That's the wheel of the year. And may your old age be blessed with good health, companionship, and friends who have journeyed far along the way with you. Let there be a warm fire in your home, about which you can tell the stories of your life, and may there be ears eager for the tales of the adventures of your life, however humble they may seem to be. May your back be strong and straight, your eyes clear and far-seeing. May your hands not ache with cold, but open wide to take the hands of the youngest, and one hand reach into the other side of this life, where the ancient ones await you. May you not fear your mortality, or bemoan the blessing of the many years you have gathered. May there be fresh starts, even in this twilight age of your life. And when it comes time to be cared for, may many hands smooth the sheets, light the fire, bring to you nourishing foods, and join with you in talk and laughter and true affection. May you not grow bitter at the passing of youth's bloom, but celebrate the wisdom of the many years you have lived. Let your old age be a blessing to you, with freedoms, uninhibited speech, which is the fun part, and an unshackling of expectations. Let this be a freedom beyond that of the body, and may your spirit quest for every drop of wisdom from the cauldron, and drink it down as lustily as a babe takes mother's milk, for you are ancient once again, and we need you, elder, to show the young ones the way. Do not be invisible, and refuse to isolate yourself. Be conspicuous, noisy, and grateful, and you will be most loved in return. For you have the white hair, of the time-dappled skin, of the wonders of the years. Oh, blah-dee-blah-da. Let's put this together in the blessing for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. Blessed be. So mote it be. And so it is. Yeah, interesting that we started with the child, we ended with the elder. That's pretty cool. Did you like it? Well, hit the thumbs up. Like it. Shifts the algorithm, as does subscribing and commenting and hitting the notification bell, which is just going to help other Scorpios and crosswatchers find what could be a very transformative reading for the Scorpios and all of the wounded children and the elders on the planet. Just saying, it's bookend. But you know what? We don't have algorithms and logarithms on Patreon. We don't need them there, because if you sign up for a level of subscription, you get all the benefits on that level. And you could always switch back and forth. Seeker, human, hero, angel, witch, immortal, god, goddess. Check it out. Seeker, human, hero, angel, witch, immortal, mystic, god, goddess, right? All of them get the dailies. All of them get the extendeds. And I'm not stopping anytime soon, because I love it. Best career move I ever made. 25 years in business, though, drawing the Circle Productions and S Corporation before LLCs were even conceived of. I've been charging $100 an hour for spiritual counseling and readings for 25 years. I'm changing my prices May 1st for our 25th anniversary. There is a link in the description box, a video called Booking a Reading with Mal that will explain the process of how to get in touch with me, what goes on in a reading, even how to prepare before, during, and what to do after if you need that, because some people do. Come May 1st, my prices will change. So if you book me now before May 1st, even for something after May 1st, I of course will honor the $100 an hour. But it is going to change come May 1st. There will be a new video, and everything's changing on all the platforms to reflect that change. Might even do a Build-A-Bear kind of thing for readings and spiritual counselings. We'll see. But for now, certainly click the link if you want to book me, because I'll be glad to help and be maybe that counselor, that spiritual who's-he what's-us to help you out in this. Most importantly, you guys are built for shadow work. I love Scorpios. I was raised with Scorpios. Raised by Scorpions. Well, with Scorpions, not by. And I love you. Some of you are my closest and dearest friends. So hang in there. Do what you gotta do here. And you got sage somewhere, burn some. Find your spiritual practice and alchemize your lead to gold, because we need you. All of us, from child to elder, wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.